We all occasionally need a break. We all sometimes need an escape, maybe from a task, an experience, a pressure, from something. And it's an important strategy and a great skill to know how to ask for and take breaks when we need them. A break is really just a short-term escape, an escape from a demand or a task or an experience that we're finding overwhelming or that we're exhausted by. It's just really a little space in that time. And escape is a major motivator for our behaviors. So we need to pay attention when we are motivated by escape. And instead of doing something that we'll regret, have a plan for a short-term escape. Have a plan for a break. When we need a break, but we don't have a plan for how to get one, we don't have a functional system to ask for the break that we need or to take the break that we need, we're more likely to engage in problem behavior. This might be angry outbursts, aggressive outbursts, task avoidance, disruptive behavior, irritable behavior, harsh words. We're more likely to say something or do something sort of out of our frustration to get us out of the demand or the situation that we're experiencing when we don't feel like we have a functional way to ask for and get a break. It can be really important for you to know what you mean by taking a break and for the people around you to know what you mean by taking a break. So sometimes that means that you have to think about it. Are you going to need a 5-minute break? Do you need an hour break? Do you need a break once a week? So how long of a break do you want? Are you asking your children to give you a 10-minute break in the middle of the day? Do they know how long that is? Do you know how long that is? Are you asking your boss for a break from calls at night or a break on Saturdays not to get emergency calls all the time? What does that look like to you? How long of a break do you want? What do you mean by a break? Does it mean don't interrupt me unless there's an emergency? Does it mean I'm going to step away from my office or from my space? Does it mean I'm going to turn off my phone? What does that mean? And in what location will I have my break? Am I taking my break where other people can still see me, where they're still here? Am I going to go into a quiet room and take a break? Am I going to go for a walk and take a break? So it can be really helpful for you to define what a break means to you. Depending on your circumstances and the reason behind your desire for a break, your need for a break, you might need to ask for a break. Sometimes you need to ask somebody else for a break. Maybe it's your boss or a coworker. Maybe there's a lot of pressure and you need a break from a specific situation or from an entire environment. So sometimes you have to ask somebody else. Sometimes you don't. You have the power to take that break when you are ready for it. But sometimes you have to ask for it. So if that's true, you need to know and have the strategy. What is it like to ask for a break? When is it the appropriate time to ask for a break? Is there a way that I should do that that will be more effective? Do I need to send an email to my boss? Do I need to look my kids in the eye and say I need a break? Do I need to ask my husband in person for a break? How is he going to receive it if I ask over text? So how you ask for a break matters, and it really is important in the context. And then you might need to schedule a time for a break. Sometimes it helps if we know a break is coming. So our desire to escape the burdens of a task or the duties that we have, the responsibilities that we're in, we don't always have to meet that escape need immediately. Sometimes we can schedule that and say, you know what, I need a break on Thursday for a couple of hours. Or I know I'm going to need a break every day at 2 o'clock for 10 minutes. So sometimes scheduling a break can really help you so that you know it's coming and you can anticipate it. This is the same principle for scheduling a break that might be vacation. So scheduling some time off so that you can really rest and refresh. So it's the same thing for a break during the day. And sometimes it's important in your regular duties to know when you have a time for a break. Now, it's also important not to work through those break times. If you have a scheduled break time and you work through it, or you ask for a break and then you end up continuing to answer the questions or do the duty or the responsibility, it won't feel like a break, and you may feel like it's harder to ask in the future for it, and other people may not understand what you meant by a break if you work through it and you just continue the task. So be careful that if you schedule a break, if you ask for the break, then go ahead and let that time be an actual break. And it's okay that a break can look different for different tasks and different times. That sometimes what I mean by a break, by escaping the pressures of what I'm doing, is really just a couple of minutes. And sometimes what I mean is a couple of hours, and sometimes it's a couple of days. So it doesn't always have to be consistent, but you do want to be careful that you don't work through that break time and then feel like you somehow had it, but it didn't give you the relief and the escape that you needed. Like all new skills and strategies, we need to practice to get good at them. And sometimes it can feel awkward, but I want to encourage you to continue practicing even when it feels awkward. This can feel like a really basic strategy, but for many of us, we're so used to producing and being busy and being productive that asking for a break is an awkward thing and we're not used to it. So you can practice by asking your family for short breaks during stressful situations. When you get accustomed to this and used to this, you'll be able to carry it over into work situations and to other situations. If your work is less stressful than your family, you might actually want to practice it at work and then carry that over to your family, depending on which one is the more stressful environment. Maybe you need to practice asking your friends for short breaks during stressful situations so that you can get a little bit used to it. And you want to practice defining and describing what you mean by a break. So when you ask for a break, can I take 5 minutes? I'm just going to do a quick little brisk walk. Can I take 10 minutes? I'm going to go have a cup of tea and kind of calm down. I'm going to take an hour if that's okay, and I'm going to go walk the dog by myself or do something I enjoy. And next, you might have to practice filling your break time with alternative activities that feel like a break to you. What I mean by alternative activities that feel like a break to you is don't go just into other work or into chores that are not going to allow you to feel like you had your real escape. So this might be some time of meditation or listening to some music or having a cup of tea, whatever it is that gives you that sense that you've had a little bit of an escape. A walk, a short walk, or just time apart. So you might need to practice that. You might not be very used to that. Don't get immediately on the phone with other business calls or into chores or other things. So I do want to encourage you, practice even when it's awkward. So after you've tried the strategy of asking for breaks and taking breaks and being careful not to work through your breaks, pay attention to the outcome. Did the escape from the task or situation or experience help you? Do you feel better? Do you feel calmer? So you can do a little bit of self-evaluation here. Did getting a break reduce the frequency and likelihood of you having angry or aggressive outbursts or other unpredictable behaviors? Was it something that helped keep you from maybe saying hurtful things to somebody else or doing something that you would regret later? And that's really the goal and the hope, that you're less overwhelmed, that when you need a break, when you need a little bit of an escape, that you have a productive and functional way to ask for that and to get it so that you can go on with your life and all of your activities having more self-control and feeling more self-empowered in your life.